Hi everyone, welcome along to Al's Kitchen once again. Been asked by one of my subscribers why it seems that one of his radiator valves always seems to leak in the summer when the heating's been off, or just for that matter even this time of year when the heating's been off basically a month or two. Generally finds now and again you get a leak from a radiator valve. Why is that happening? Because the heating hasn't even been on. Well, we're going to look now why that happens, and also how to fix it and what to look for. It's very important that we look for this problem around. You might think it's something not worth bothering about, but quite often radiator valves do leak when it kind of like the heating's been off for a little while. It's a bit odd, I know. Now, here we have a radiator valve that's doing exactly the thing I've mentioned, and it's leaking, and you can see the stain there on the floor, and that's what to look for. It's well advisable in the summertime, or whenever the rads have been off for some time, by that a couple of weeks, a month, have a look around all your radiator valves at the bottom and check the floor. It will give it away like that, a stain. Now this rad was taken off by me a couple of months ago to show how to get the grills off. So obviously when I put it back, I haven't quite tightened this union here enough, and it's weeping. Now there can be a couple of types of leaks. This particular one is one with a drain valve on it. Most of them are just standard ones. But you'll either have a leak here, or you'll have a leak on the packing gland, which I'll show you in a second. I'll pull that off. But either one is easy to fix. Now of course, if you have a leak on one of these babies, if it isn't this nut here, or very rarely this nut here, if it is running down from there, I'm afraid you are stuck. You will have to renew the valve, because it means water's come out of the pin, which has a sealing washer in there, and you can't fix it. There's nothing you can do with them. So I guess you're asking, why does it happen that we get leaks when it's been off for a while? Well, you see, if you do have a weep on one of these in the winter time when you're running your heating, and it's on off, there may probably and still is a leak there, but because it's hot, the expansion takes up the little leak, and the hot water in the pipe actually dries it. So if that's a tiny weep, then it never shows. It might just start to begin to show, but the heating will come back on, the pipe will get hot, it will expand, and the heat obviously as well on the pipe will take up the leak, and you'll not see any problems until, that is, now when everything's off, it's been off for a while, and then that little leak starts to show, as with this one when I've taken it off a little while back, a couple of months ago. So especially if you've had any work done on your radiators in the winter time, you're taking them off to redecorate them behind them, or you've had any work done on them where you've had to alter rads, do go around and check those valves, because they could possibly well have a little weep there. Check for damp carpet under there, lino coverings, and I say floors like this, you'll get this kind of mark here that I've got there now. So first of all, now that's it, how to fix it. Now, as you all know, I've got plenty of videos on fixing these leaks on rad valves, as you can imagine, but I will just go through it once again. As I say, take this top off, let's pull that there, and you'll see the packing gland here. Now, there's two places that it could leak. It may be leaking out of this and running down the stem here, giving you a false impression that this nut is leaking, which is very, very rare. Very rarely it's that one. If it is, just dry that off and then see if there's a leak there, but make sure nothing runs down, and it will tell you if this one is leaking, but it's very, very rare. Usually the culprit is this one, and usually it just needs tightening up, which we'll do now, and I'll show you how to do that one easily without breaking the joint here. So, showing you how to fix this one. My two favourite tools, these pair of footprints. Great tool, well worth it if you do any home plumbing, and an adjustable spanner. I like this little short stubby one. It gets in places where the longer ones can't get often. So before we do this, what we're going to do is tighten this. This one that's leaking. I know it's the one that's leaking on here because I had it off. And there's the water. I don't think you can see it on my finger. And that's a sure way of testing it. See the shine there? I know that nut is leaking here. It's not leaking from the packing. It's leaking from there where it's not being tightened up quite enough by me. It's a little bit more, and you can see the stain on the floor obviously, which shows you that is it. So all we've got to do, get a spanner, put it on there. Okay, now if we try and twist that without holding against, there's a chance you could break this joint. So it's very important that you do not just twist that down without holding against. And that's where these come in. So with these, I'll try and get my hands out of the way. You need to kind of hold against it like so. Now, I'm not worried about this valve, but if you want to save marking it, then get yourself a piece of cloth like so and put that around it if you don't want to mark the valve. Alright, and make sure now that you've got a good grip, because you want to hold against, stop that valve moving. See what I'm doing? Now I'm going to pull that valve nut down like so. There you go. That's it. That is probably all that is going to need. It just wants a little nip, and a lot of the times that is all they require. All you've got to do then is dry it right off completely. Probably some toilet paper or a bit of tissue would be best to dry it off completely, and then obviously give it a minute and see if it still weeps. Now just coming out of this thing here, the packing gland, another little easy job. That's where it's coming from. Get your spanner and put it on there. Turn it out like so. Take it right out. Don't worry if there's water coming down there. There won't be much. Just a little bit of water running down the valve. Take that nut off and get a little bit of PTFE tape like this, and just string a little bit out, about that much there, about 6 inches. Okay, and just wrap it round loosely around the spindle like so. I mean, mine isn't actually leaking from there, but I'm just just showing you what you do. Wrap that around, and we're going to poke it down. You can use a screwdriver to poke it down, probably easier. I'll get one now. One of these types is usually the best bet for it. Okay, and just poke it in. See that? I'm just going to poke it down. Poke that down inside. Okay, once that's down, get your nut back. Here it is. And we're going to put our nut back on there and just do it up. Don't be tempted to do this too tight, because if you do, the valve can be very stiff to turn afterwards. Okay, so just do it lightly. And if you can't get it started, that's a bit tight to start, you probably put a bit too much in there, in which case take a bit out, or see if you can push it down a bit further. Mine doesn't actually need it, which is why it's not starting easily, but I'll push it in a bit further and we'll get a start on it. It's quite easy, just keep going with it till you can get that to start in there. Okay, and don't drop it. There we go, try again. That's better. There we go. So, we nip him in there and tighten him up. No more than that, should be plenty. In fact, even that might be too much. A way to test it, you could adjust your spanner down again and just try turning the top. Make sure it's not too tight, that knob will turn it. And that actually is the right amount. That feels bang on. I know that the top will fit there and still turn. Okay, what you've got to do now is dry everything off, completely dry the whole lot, and give it 10 minutes. Make sure there's no more spills of anything. You see that one dead dry now. Say the damp on there. Once you've given it a good test, that's it, job done. Okay, you don't need to turn any water off. You don't need to even turn the heating off if it happens to be on. You could do it. Might be a bit hot, but no, best done cold. And basically, it's a simple job. And just put the cap back on, which we'll do now. So, cap back on. Line it up. We'll drop him on. There you go. That's it. Push him on, and it's quite easy to turn. I can feel that doddle. Well, there you are. Easy enough job, isn't it? Doddle to do. Save yourself some money on calling out plumbers. Okay, and all you needed was 2 tools and a bit of 50p PTFE tape. Job done. Okay, hope that's helped you and explained a bit why it seems to be that once the heating's off for a month or two, some of the radiator valves start leaking. So do yourself a favour and go around and have a check now. Make sure you've got no little weeps or drips anywhere, but it does stain and make a mess. Alright, that's it from me. Usual place to go for all my stuff. Derek 33. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.